Alright, hello. This is a tutorial series on Sauerbraten. We are now part 7. Today I want to talk about um, a strategy to learn how to play without really thinking about how to play. And that's really important. What I mean by that is sometimes you're in game and you have to think. And the more you have to think, the less you have the attention span to aim or make quick decisions, right? If you have to think about what your role is, then you never know. You are always going to be one step behind someone who already knows what their role is. Um, it's a matter of knowing when your roles change, and this is about roles and states, and roles do change. Role changes. So, first off, let's talk about states. Okay, so what does that mean? So Sauerbraten can be a can be considered a sum of four parts, right? Like sub games, right? Now sub games there are four. There are four in my opinion. There are four. Four general sub games. There are four, and I call them states. There's the 1-1, 1-0, 0-1, and 0-0. What this means is that if you have two flags, right, red flag, blue flag, well, we can also say that blue flag is your flag, and then red flag is the other the other flag. Excuse me. Then you can call this a. You could take a two values, 1 and 0, right? Right. Blue flag and red flag can be 1 or 0. So it's a binary tuple. So we have a binary number, and each entry in this uh, tuple in this yeah tuple or two tuple a couple. Yes, it's a couple. And what this denotes is whether one is equal your flag is present in your base, right? And then you have 0 equals flag is absent. Somebody took it from your base, right? Someone took it. Someone took it. Okay, it's just there. Well, then yes. So now you can look at it this way. Now there's four sub games. So in this case, both flags are present. Okay, and in this case, your flag is present and their flag is not, right? You took their flag. And this one is they took your flag. And you have your you you they have theirs, right? And they and you have theirs. Uh, you took their flag and you have yours, right? And this here is a gridlock. Gridlock. And we could truncate this further. I would say, let's see, let's check my notes. We said, okay. So I guess we can just look at it this way. So both flags are present, right? There's four states, right? You took their flag and you have yours. So I guess you could say that this is red, and then, or you have yours is blue, and here it's also blue, right? Or rather, that is black. Okay, and then in this case they have theirs, right? And they have theirs, right? So why does it matter that we categorize or make subcategories of the Sauerbraten match? Well, it's because in any duration of the 10 minutes of the games, right? There's 10 minutes or until someone scores 10 first, right? We are in a we're not in stasis, right? Everyone starts out at the 1-1 at time equal 0. However, at time equal to 600, right? So we're t equals 600 seconds, right? Usually, the way it goes, it's or rather maybe 599, right before they score the final match. It could be 1-0-0-1, 1-1, or 0-0, and it's obvious during 600 seconds, right? It changes from 1-0 back to 1-1. It could go to 0-1, and go to any score, and it's back to 1-1. It could be like 0-1, and then you could take 0-0, and then it's like a stall, right? You could stall. It changes all the time, and this is what I mean by where the game has sub games, and every time you're in a different state, you have to know that your roles do shift a little, sometimes drastically shift, and you have to change your priorities. Like what do you have to do, and what do I have to do when we have the flag and they have theirs, vice versa. What happens when each team has the opposing team's flags, right? In gridlock, where you have theirs and they have yours. You have theirs, they have yours. What? How does that work, right? Who's the one holding the flag and who's not the one holding the flag? And what do their roles do? So that is what I'm going to talk about now. So now that we have a general idea of what a state is, now we're going to talk about, let's say, um, the, each state and what your role is. So this is all about basically having a mental image of what to do instantaneously, right? You don't want to think about it anymore. You want to just know instantly what to do. So let's just start out with a 1-1 scenario, right here. Okay, let's do 1-1, starting from the bottom. 1-1 is very special, I would say. It's not very straightforward. So you have people, right? You have people on both sides trying to just get the flag, right? And there's usually a map, right? There's a black box, map, and sometimes you go this way, sometimes you go that way. Sometimes there's like a all sorts of directions to go, and that's kind of complicated. But ultimately, you're all attacking. You're trying to get the flag. Sometimes you're defending the flag, but ultimately, the rules are not really set defined here. So we're just gonna skip this for now. Maybe in the next video we'll talk about it. But let's talk 0-0. 0-0 is a gridlock. Now, what do you do in a gridlock, right? Well, say there's players blue and then from the blue team, and then players in the red team. And in this case, we have what, R1, R2, and R3. And then likewise, we have blue 1 equals blue 1, blue 2, and blue 3. Suppose blue 1 has red flag, and suppose R1 has blue flag. So in this scenario, it's quite it's quite difficult now because you're trying to capture each other's flag, but you have to rely on your teammates to do something about it. You can't just simply, I guess, capture it because there's no you need the flag your flag to capture their flag. And so the person who has the flag, we call this the VIP, right? Now the VIP is anybody who has the flag, right? And and a VIP usually needs a bodyguard or an escort. So then we call that, the role, the role technically, of maybe B2 or B3 or both, is escort. And it's quite map dependent too, or position dependent rather. Say you have two maps, two regions, and then there's like the middle area, right? And this is the red team and this is the blue team. Say blue team, right? Say for example B1 and B2 is right here, and then B3 is right here. Okay, right here and right here. Okay, B1 just got the red flag. All right, okay. Then B2 is clearly escort because B2, it does not have the flag, but is right next to the person holding the flag who's trying to transit back home, right? So the point here is that B2 is an escort, and then B3 on the other hand, it's a little bit ambiguous. But I would say that you could just push, or you could stay around. It's really up to you. If you have your own flag, then this person is not really escorting per se. It's more of a defense. Anyways, and then if say the blue flag is right here, that's 1-0 state. But in this case, both are gone. So you can think of it this way. Now, red one has the flag, right? Okay, and this one is blue, right? And it's already in the middle area. So what do we do here? Blue one and red one. Okay. Well, what does red two do? Okay, maybe say red three instead. Now what's red two do? Say for example red three just died, and then that's why blue one and blue two has red flag. Now then red two is right here. If red two is right here, you escort. If red two is right here, what does red two do? Right? It's gridlock right now. There's two players here, right? There's two people and versus one player right here. In this scenario, well, I say there's a 2v1 now, right? And it's really bad. The VIP's role here is to evade, is to weave. But R2's role is to just link up, and usually you can do this quite easily because in the in-game screen, there's a minimap, and the flag is always moving around. You can always see where it is. So red two's role here is to escort. So this is what I mean by, well, you have to escort no matter what, right? Especially in a gridlock. And in a gridlock where mm, gridlock really means, what I mean by that is that the flag is held and it's not in the home positions for both teams. Well, it's soon to be a scenario where this guy dies, and then now it's going to be a 0-1. They took or you took their flag, and you took their flag, and you have yours. So that's something you really want to avoid if you're the opposite team. So now that we have R2, then it's technically like a escort situation, or like a it's like a it's like a more how should I say this? Well, forget about that for a second. Okay, all right. So that's one form of gridlock. However, what happens if, say, you have blue flag and you have red flag, right? Okay, for example, right here and right here. Okay, what happens? Say you have the plan B1 has this and R1, and let's say if R1 has your flag, right? And we have R2 here or R3 here. Okay, so what does R2 and B2 do? Well, B2 has to go this way, and R2 has to go this way. Now in this situation, it's a little bit different. I would say, you know, the BIP rules don't change, but I would say in a very special case where the flag is on the opposite extreme, or this is like I would call this a not a gridlock anymore, but more like a complete gridlock, right? It's not a partial gridlock. It was a partial gridlock before. It's a complete gridlock. It's more of a gridlock than before, I would say, where it's just the logical conclusion of what happens if everybody escorts properly, right? Now you have one right here on this end, ready for this guy to die to uh, immediately capture, right? But if R1 dies, then blue one immediately captures, right? This is like the most extreme situation where a gridlock is really easy to just dissipate, and the 0-0 instantaneously becomes 1-1 because the capture happens very fast. Well, in this case, you certainly need an escort, but ultimately, if it's a 3v3, one person has to stay and one person has to go. Sometimes you could take the. Now that's the ideal situation, of course. Sometimes you hedge your bets and you take both people. All right, you take both people and make them go attack. Then it's a 2v1, right? And if B2 dies, then it's a 2v2 here. But usually, the idea is that even if say B2 is gone, right? So you got 5 seconds where B2 is just dead. Okay. The next thing that's going to happen is the following. So for like the 5 seconds that you have, right? R2 and R3, it's not a 2v2 here. Remember, it's not a 2v2, guys. This is a 2v1. 2v1, and you're just a well, it's not a third wheel because there's two people and one person here. It's a threesome here. You're kind of like a fourth wheel, and so you're trying really hardest not to get this guy to die. Your rule is like not just escort anymore. You're not escorting anybody. You're already here. In this case, your role is bodyguard. Bodyguard. Yep. Or babysitter. Babysitter. Yup. That's right. And yep. So B1 it is the VIP, and B3 you're the babysitter, and you really really have to defend your baby because they're coming. But say now that is the most like I guess the hard part. But if R2 dies, right? Suppose you kill R2 and you kill R3, so you kill both of the pursuers. Now it's kind of a mirror image. Now R1 is very vulnerable because these two are dead, right? So now it's your turn to sort of hedge your bets and send one person or maybe send two people at once, and then try to pretty much dodge the respawning R2 person or the R3 person that's respawning. You're trying to dodge, and you're trying to navigate your way and kill R1. So there it is. It's not really a simple 3v2 or 2v3 anymore. It's a lot more about 2v1 with a third with like a fourth wheel, right? Fourth wheel, right? You're basically trying to choose a battle and try to navigate so that you don't get interrupted by some unwanted guest in your little dance. We're usually dancing, right? We're trying to dodge each other's bullets, and it looks like we're dancing a little. Yeah, so that's what it is. This is not a very comprehensive explanation for what to do in a gridlock, and there's a lot of subtleties to this, but that's the basic idea. You kind of have to just understand, okay, the flag is on that side and the flag is on our side. Okay, what's the risk management here? Where's the risk, and how much risk are we going to put in for the upcoming attack? Okay, that attack failed. Now they're coming to attack us. How do we plan out this defense? You have to be able to do this really quickly. So the gridlock is the most complex and the most consequential of a decision making tree that you have to kind of have in your head. Uh, so there's that. Now let's just talk about 1-0 and 0-1. So 0-1, they took your flag and they have theirs, which means the answer is very simple. Team is escort. Who has the flag, right? They have theirs. Okay, let's just say this. Okay, so they have theirs. So they're taking your flag. Okay, ooh, right? They're taking your flag. Okay, they're going this way. They're running away to their flag, and they're trying to capture it right here. Okay, maybe he's not even there anymore. If he's like well positioned, he's putting himself in the way and firing away. Ba ba ba. Okay, and you so a noob would just stay around and loiter, but in a very scenario, you're trying to attack her here. So the answer is very simple. If they have theirs, right, and you don't have yours, you're pursuing, right? You're pursuing 1-0. You equal pursue, and not just anybody, but you pursue the flag. You pursue the VIP, and don't get distracted by the escorts. The escorts are all okay. So that's you. So you pursue the VIP and don't get distracted. Now let's talk about the 0-1 case. Okay, all right, 0-1. Now it's the opposite. Can I? Is there a way to like mirror image this? No. Okay. Well, uh, that's a little awkward. So now it's the other way around. You have the flag at home, okay, and you're trying to like defend it, right? You're trying to defend it, and you're taking their flag. You're trying to get flag, or you're trying to shoot this way, ba ba ba, okay, and you have the BIP is running away, okay, and they're trying this way, and then the red is trying to like really capture. In this case, it's the inverse. You oh let's see, you equal VIP and escort. Okay, you're pretty much escort, but escort is kind of a you know, it's for when your VIP dies, maybe, or is it when you see an enemy, you're the one that distracts. But typically, you're trying to throw away. You want to distract them now, right? So think of it this way: 1-0-0-1. They're just kind of like symmetry. They obey they're symmetric of each other, but like with like a reflection. Um, so this is quite simple and very straightforward. I think the hardest part here is that it changes a lot. 1-0-0-1-0-0, right? It's quite a, and I would say that like some of these rules are sometimes you do this even though it's a 0-0 situation, and ultimately this is a heuristic, right? It's not like a purely like important like what you call it. It's not a pure, a strict rule per se. It's a heuristic to follow. It's a little bit of a shorthand for the decisions that you have to make. So now let's see this in practice. Okay, hopefully the game audio is not too loud this time. Jesus. Okay, this is probably not the best. Yeah, this is not the best example. Let's get out here. All right, let's do a bot match. So Insta CTF, and let's go on haste. Okay, so right now there is 3v3. Okay, so I am just going to escort the bomb, escort the flag, and two people here are also defending. So right now we're just all defending. Okay, so one person died, so I think it's my chance to go. Okay. Oh, who's shooting me? Okay. All right. There's one. There's nobody. Oh. Ooh. Oh goodness. So right now we have to chase them. So this is the 0-1 state. So they have. We don't have our flag, but they have theirs. So all right. So there's this. And now it's dropped. I would say when it's dropped, it's still the 0-1 state because the flag is not in our home, right? It's not so much about a person holding the flag. It's more about the person. It's not about the person holding the flag. It's more about the flag not being in your home position. That's what 1 and 0 mean. Right? So now we have it. So we're in the 1-0 state. Our flag is in the 1, the home position, and this flag is in transit. And now it's back to 1-1. So in some ways, 1-1 is the hardest because I would say that we're both trying to get the flag, but also trying to defend. And we're not really escorting a singular person, but we are now more concerned with holding positions and trying to see like a map control. That's something for a different video. But today we're going to talk more about the states. Now I think it's quite easy to see now that the game has sub game modes. So for example, I am trying to get this flag. Okay, and now I am trying to run away from the flag. So we're in a gridlock situation, and now we're back. So he died because, well, one thing is aim, but another thing is that there's two people. I had my teammate right here, this man right here, bot 132. He was escorting me the entire time, and that made it an effective 2v1 against the flag holder on the opposite team. So these are the kinds of duels that you want to take, and at the same time, these are the types of duels that if you were on the 1v2 side, do not want to take. Now I need to go help my teammate. I've been loitering too long, but now I am going to distract. So it looks like there's nobody there, which means that I have to look at this way. And now clearly there's somebody here, but he's too far away, so it doesn't really matter. Usually, if they're far away, you have to divert your attention to a more closer threat, right? They could be hiding somewhere. Maybe they could be waiting for our friend to arrive with the red flag and kill him in the last second and then recapture. So that could be also a strategy that they're planning, right? Especially if you don't hear them for a while, right? You don't see them in the kill feed on the top left, right? Then maybe they are hiding because clearly they're not engaging anybody. So that's when you have to have your tingly toes tingling a lot more and activate your sixth sense and assume, yeah, he's probably here, yeah, you know. So you don't have to like raw peek him. You could jiggle. Jiggle is really bad because people usually can hit you when you're jiggling. So maybe you could just pre-fire. Yeah. So different players have different styles, and you often have to understand how a player plays in order to make the best decision. But that comes with time. Right. So clearly, I was alone, and there was not much I can do. Maybe if I killed him, I could go, but even then, I'll be alone. Um, in this scenario, it might be best to have your teammates go along with you rather than you go get the flag by yourself. It all depends. So I am an escort, and my role is to just distract. All right, and so that's how he captures. So in this scenario, I'm not escorting. I could be escorting, but sometimes it's more about just staying behind and trying to stall the pursuers. And the opposite is also true. Now, if your flag got stolen, right? Then the other one thing that's really big is that the opposite team is gonna do the exact same thing that you did to them, and so it looks like these guys are not really putting up much of a fight. So I guess this ends the video. I guess I could show you one last time a example of a state. So now once again, it's 1-0. Okay, so we have an escort here. My escort just died, so now it's more about running away and hiding. Um, I'm not necessarily hiding in the best possible way right now, but okay. Now let's assume that it was a gridlock. Suppose the flag was not there. I mean, right now, yes, the flag is there. But suppose it wasn't. Then my goal is to stay alive. So I am the BIP, and I'm supposed to try to be inconspicuous. It's very hard to be, but I'm trying to be inconspicuous. And of course, if you see the top right, the red flag is visible to everyone. It's flashing, which indicates that it's in transit, uh, which means that I have to hide and wait until the blue flag comes back. And in this scenario, I guess if my teammate is supposed to defend me, so one of them is supposed to defend me, or maybe two of them if they want to be very play safe, right? Two of them are defending me, or one of them are defending me, and the opposite is true as well. They're defending their flag holder. Now sometimes you want to send one guy over to try to make a dent into the defense of the other side, and then in that scenario we have only one person defending, so it's pretty risky. You can even sometimes you can even do two people sending over there, and then that's even riskier. But it gives a higher chance for us to kill them first, kill the flag holder first, which means that you know if if the flag is returned, then I can instantaneously return, and that has its merits. But usually it depends on the situation, and that situation is a bit more subtle to figure out. All right, so let's do it one more time. Okay. All right. I don't know. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back into a real server, and then I'll show you a example. Okay. So right now we have. Oh God, that's a lot. Oh Jesus. We have 20 people in the server, 10v10. Okay. So right now there's no escort business going on, but if he had captured a flag, then it's very likely that his teammates would all shift to their roles and to escort. Luckily, we have enough people defending, and the flag is just still around. Now, there's probably people over there. I see people flying around. The ragdoll really helps with context clues about where they were shot from. If they were shot and the body flies from here to here, then it's very likely that there's an enemy over there, which means you have to brace yourselves. Oh, there's one here. There's definitely one behind me. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's go attack. Oh, 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 Lord. Ah, unfortunate. Okay. Oh. Oh, they have our flag. Okay, and we recapture. Okay. And a flag again. And recapture. So that concludes our very big, very important lesson on subgames, states, and roles. So see you later, server. Goodbye.